So the number one thing that I hear consistently from people in my DMs, from my clients, from everyone is they want more leads, right? And who doesn't want more leads? Who doesn't want a bigger audience and just a big pool of people who's ready to buy from you? So one of the most secret weapons that is the best for lead generation is exactly what we're diving in today's video, which is Pinterest. And it's like not so secret anymore, but it's also still secret because so many people rack their brains every single day of like, how do I get more leads on Instagram? And it's like, Pinterest, hello. So anyways, let's dive in. Now, if you are new to my channel, hello. My name is Kolbye, and I'm a business coach and online educator for service-based entrepreneurs, helping them build a personal brand and build an online business via social media. I also happen to travel the world, so on this channel, you're going to find a lot of content about entrepreneurship, marketing, building a business, but also a sprinkle of some good old digital nomad content. I am currently filming this video from my apartment in Greece. So I don't have a home office like most people with all the cute little backgrounds, and I wanted to film this on my balcony, but it's too loud. So you're getting all the good information, just not a cute background in this apartment. Maybe next month will be different. Now, I'm obviously not a social media manager, but actually way back in the day, we little Amanda, when I was still trying to figure out this whole online business thing, I actually did do Pinterest management for some clients before I ever started any of my businesses. But as a business coach, one big thing that I help my clients do is figure out different marketing strategies as well as work on funnels and building passive income. And that's really where Pinterest comes in and why I wanted to do this video for you guys today. Not only talking about the marketing strategy behind how to use Pinterest, but also I'm going to share my screen in a couple of bits and pieces to really show you some of the key pieces that are going to make your Pinterest strategy actually effective. So first off, if you're not already sold on Pinterest, which I feel like most people probably are, I wanted to mention just why you should be using Pinterest. So there are, at the time of recording this, 478 million monthly active users on Pinterest alone. That is a lot of freaking people that we have the opportunity to get in front of. The other big thing about Pinterest is it's not a social media platform. It's actually a search engine, which is one of the biggest benefits of Pinterest itself, right? We're not fighting to like follow and have all these fake conversations with people. If you create quality content with the tips we're going to be discussing today, you can get found by hundreds and thousands and millions of people. And because it's a very reliable search engine, a lot like YouTube and Google, it's actually one of the top places that people come to search something, whether it's planning your next vacation, figuring out home decor, or asking a question like, how do I gain more Instagram followers? Pinterest is one of the go-to places for that. Another big reason why you want to be using Pinterest is because the users on the platform are actually way more likely than like on Instagram or Facebook to prioritize shopping. So they're already in the mindset of shopping when they're on Pinterest and looking for different things to buy. So while it's not always conscious where you came onto Pinterest to find a new cute outfit, when you're on there, you are a lot more likely to accidentally click on something. Maybe it's a low digital product that you have, and bam, you've made a sale. And the last biggest reason why you as a business owner want to be on here is really to expand your visibility and reach, right? Like just how I started this video, everyone wants more leads, everyone wants more people in front of them. And while Instagram has its own amazing benefits to it, Facebook has its own amazing benefits to it, the big benefit of Pinterest is that you can expand that visibility and reach, honestly, pretty easy compared to some of the other platforms, and you can do it relatively fast as well. You could get to potentially hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million monthly viewers in less than a year, honestly, if you execute the right kind of strategy and of course have quality content. Now, who is Pinterest best for? Well, if you're watching this video and you're an online business owner, it's best for you. But essentially, I think it's really best for bloggers, content creators, and online business owners. So it can be great for leading people back to your world elsewhere, which I'll mention in just a minute, or it can be great for actually selling physical or digital products. So for you as a business owner, there's really 3 main ways that you're going to be able to monetize the Pinterest traffic. So one of them is going to be directly linking to and bringing traffic to digital or physical products and thus a sale. The second way is going to be using Pinterest as a traffic source for growing your email list and your funnels, which should be then set up on the back end to lead to a sale. And the third way is bringing in traffic to your world. And so when I say your world, what I mean is wherever else you exist, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, your podcast, all of these other places where you're really creating, nurturing content, where you're selling, where you're pitching, where you're doing all of these other things. We're just using Pinterest as almost like this this sounding board, this literal funnel to bring in all these new eyeballs and funnel them elsewhere. So when we start looking at our marketing strategy for Pinterest, I really want you to think about this with kind of two main lenses. One, visibility, right? We want to get in front of as many people as possible. The second thing though is targeted audience growth. So because Pinterest is a search engine and we're going to be able to create content that's based on SEO researched keywords in order to get in front of certain people, we can really get segmented in front of the right kinds of people that we want to get in front of and lead them back somewhere. So the important thing to note is that Pinterest is not an end game at all. It's solely a way to have people find you, which means that we have to be leading them somewhere else. I kind of mentioned this before, but the reason I'm reiterating it is because, to be honest, Pinterest is not really going to be effective for you as a business owner if we're not creating larger pieces of content that we can utilize on Pinterest. So for example, if you're a business owner and right now you are only existing on Instagram, that's great, but we're not really going to be able to utilize that Instagram content. We're not really going to be able to utilize the Pinterest traffic and lead people back somewhere with just Instagram as the only place we're existing. So honestly, ideally, you need to have a blog, YouTube channel, podcast, like some sort of more permanent evergreen type content that we're going to be able to break up, create a lot of pins from, and lead people back to. So also, if you're not creating content consistently, Pinterest is not going to be the best marketing strategy for you right now, because Pinterest is something that you're going to have to be active on every week to continue to see that growth and see the impact that you're wanting to see. It relies not only on some different pinning strategies, but on fresh content, meaning that if you only create one YouTube video a month, that's also not really going to be enough fuel to have an effective Pinterest strategy. The other way that we're going to implement a really effective marketing strategy with Pinterest is not only all of that evergreen content that you're leading people back to, that hopefully that is directing people elsewhere to the point of sale, but is by directly utilizing that Pinterest traffic to our freebies or our opt-ins, which should be the entry point of our funnels. Now, if the word funnel scares you, I promise funnels can be really simple. In fact, I have a really great podcast episode that you can listen to here all about utilizing Facebook ads and funnels in a simple sense and is a complementary sense with the rest of the strategies in your business. So that is something that would be on the back end that we can take that traffic. They can find a topic such as a pin that I have here that links to one of my freebies, which is how to gain 100 new ideal client followers on Instagram per week. So this is a topic that I know people are searching for. We have a lot of different types of key descriptions and types of graphic pins that we test out to see which ones are most appealing. And when you click on that, you're going to land on a landing page here, which is the opt-in page for my freebie. So as soon as you enter down this freebie, and you can actually click the link below to go see this for yourself, then you will go through a funnel that we have set up to, at the end, sell either a mini course that I have, which is the content kit about creating content that converts, or a signature Instagram marketing and sales advanced course for positioning and monetizing your Instagram as a service-based business owner. So as you can see, there's a lot on the back end that is really going to be needed to set up in order to make this marketing strategy effective and of course profitable. So let's move back to Pinterest and not so much of the back end, because to be honest, there are pretty much three key elements to creating successful pins and content on Pinterest that you're going to need to walk through. Now, I could overcomplicate this and go through a lot of different steps, but these are really what you need to know. So the first thing is visual. Pinterest is a visual search engine. It's a visual platform. That's one reason why so many people love it. So with that being said, you have to create visuals that are going to catch people's attention, because no matter what you think, if they don't catch people's attention, then we're never going to get them to click through and bring us that traffic or that point of sale. So you can use a tool called Canva, which as an online business owner, you're probably already using, which you can see here. And what you'll do is create different types of pins on Canva. In fact, they already have some pre-created ones for you that you can just customize your colors and font, making it really easy. Now, there's a couple different types of visual pins that you'll see on Pinterest. One of them is kind of the classic mix of titles and photos. And for business owners, for the type of content you're most likely going to be creating, other than pins that are actually selling like a product directly, this is probably the most common and most effective type of pin that you're going to see. You want to really be careful with those cursive fonts. You want to make sure that it's very legible and play with the titles on there as well for what's going to get people's attention. Another type of visual content is just straight up photography. So again, if you're an actual photographer, this is going to be a big one for you, right? Because you want to showcase your work. But if you're more of a service-based entrepreneur, like a designer or a copywriter or some type of coach, then while you could use photography, we're not really hooking people in, right? People are going to be searching for me, maybe for something social media related. So I might show a picture of me working, but it's not going to be the thing that relays the information that I needed to relay and competes for the topics I'm trying to compete for. Some other really popular visual type of content is going to be infographics and quotes. I think that business owners can really utilize these in some smart ways with their content. While it shouldn't be every pin that you can create, you can see here some pins that we've created that are some examples like this. And typically these are a great way to very quickly get the information across to your audience. And when they want to learn more, then they'll go ahead and click through. Lastly, I wanted to mention video content because the Pinterest algorithm changes very frequently, unfortunately. And video content has definitely been on the rise, much like it is across the board in social media. So you might want to be trying out some other types of video pins as well as story pins, which you can see here. This is something we've been experimenting a lot with my own team and my own Pinterest account to get some insight into what's working and what's not working. A little secret behind the scenes, the story pins, they've been working really well. Okay, so the second main thing that you're gonna need to pay attention to with creating content on Pinterest is keywords and SEO. So essentially all those pretty graphics and photos and all that you just created, well, no one's gonna be able to get to have them catch their eye if they're not even showing up in a search. So remember that Pinterest is a search engine, not a social media platform. So it is absolutely essential that you focus on keyword optimization for all of the pins that you're creating. So as you can see on my screen here, this is a little very quick example of how you might type in a keyword in the search bar there on Pinterest. And what you can see is all the different types of content that comes up. So you can start to analyze what that type of content is, what keywords they're using. And then at the top, you can also see where the next suggested keywords are gonna be. So you can start to go down a rabbit hole there and create long tail keywords, which means combinations of different words that you're going to want to validate are one, highly searched on, to have the quality type of content that you want to be showing up for, and then you can add those into your pin titles and descriptions. The third key step on Pinterest is promotion and being active on the platform, right? Just like any other type of platform, whether social media or search engine based, we need to be a part of the network. So what this is gonna look like on Pinterest is doing some manual pinning. It's also going to look like engaging with other people's types of content, saving it, resharing it to different boards. It's also going to look like contributing in the different communities. So if you are a part of Tailwind, which is a scheduling app for Pinterest that I do recommend downloading, within Tailwind you can be a part of communities. These used to be called tribes if you're more familiar with that. And these are exclusive groups that you are limited to where you get to participate in, and it's kind of a known thing that everyone is sharing the same type of content within a certain like niche or industry, and you go in there and are sharing everyone's content together. There's also group boards. You can find group boards based on certain topics or niches like within your industry that you can be an active part of, and as the group board grows, if you're a part of it and you can contribute content to it, you'll need to check there's different rules for each one. Then let's say the group board has, 1 million, followers on that board, you're gonna get access to get in front of all those people. So there's a lot of different creative ways that within Pinterest itself, you can be an active member and not just pin your content. However, with that being said, Pinterest does prioritize fresh content. So what that means is new content. So this is again why it's so important for you to be continually creating content on the back end for us to utilize on Pinterest. Because Pinterest prioritizes fresh content, you're gonna need to be creating new pins pretty much every single week to continue to fuel your growth on the platform. Now, while I'm not doing a whole Tailwind tutorial in this video here, Tailwind is also really helpful because it automates part of this process. So it'll analyze the best times for you to be able to pin to get in front of your audience, and outside of some of the manual pinning that you'll want to do anyways, you can schedule posts, both your own and other people's content, so that you can fill your queue, and it will push out all those scheduled posts every day for you, so that you only have to maybe batch schedule once every week or once every 2 weeks. Now, those are really the 3 main steps in areas that you're going to want to focus on with creating content on Pinterest. Another quick side note though is as you're creating all this content, both your own and then you're also pinning other people's, you want to get it really organized and you want to tell the Pinterest algorithm what you're all about. So one of the ways that we do that is also with our boards. So if you're just getting started, I would recommend creating at least 5 to 10, ideally 20 different boards. You definitely want to have one that's like just your content, right? So if you have a blog, I would call it the AK blog, like you can see here. And you could create one if you have a podcast, like, my podcast. So you're gonna put all of yours in there, and those are gonna be a little bit unique where it's just your content, but that's gonna be a great place when people come to your profile. They can click on that board exclusively, and it's very clear what it's all about, and just dive into your stuff only. The rest of your boards are going to be a mix of your content and other people's, but you want to choose boards that are based on topics that are very relevant within your niche. They're topics that you talk about a lot, that you are seen as an authority and an expert in, and they're topics that people are going to be highly searching for. Now, in order to fuel all this content that we're creating, like I said, you're going to want to have some more evergreen content on the back end, like blogs, YouTube videos, podcasts, all those things to fuel your own fresh content you're creating. So if that is something that you feel like you're a little bit struggling with, or maybe you're trying to figure out how to systematize all of this content creation, check out my video here where I talk about how to batch all of your content. Now, lastly, like any platform that we're utilizing, we need to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And what works for me isn't always going to be the exact same thing that's working for you. And also, your favorite pin or this keyword that you did all this research on and thought was going to be great, it's not always going to be the thing that performs the most. So you need to review Pinterest analytics. Typically at the end of every month is when we analyze them, and we're going to start looking at what types of boards are performing best and having the most consistent topics of high performing content. We want to look at how many link clicks we're getting, because for me as a business owner, I'm not just trying to get a bunch of traffic back to my site, right? I want to really know that this is a topic someone opened and they clicked on and they actually got back to my freebie page or my other page or somewhere that's getting them actually closer to a point of sale. So you'll want to figure out what analytics are going to be most important to you based on your own marketing goals and based on the type of content that you're putting on there. And I also recommend doing a lot of testing, because Pinterest is a platform where we're posting a lot. For example, if I have a blog post, we're going to create at least 3 to 5 pins that all have different descriptions and different types of graphics on them for us to be able to start to see which of these types of titles and graphics are grabbing people's attention most and showing up most in search. So Pinterest is also about a lot of essentially A/B testing, but you're not going to be able to figure out what works if you don't look at the analytics. And lastly, just to kind of summarize all of this, as a business owner, our main goal here is to utilize Pinterest to get more leads, get more visibility, and obviously somehow connect that back to making more sales. So the best way to do this, in my opinion, as a business owner, is to use Pinterest to grow your email list. When we're able to grow our email list, it's a very direct path, whatever you want to call it, for you to have full control over the people that you're getting in front of, be able to communicate with them, maybe send them down a funnel where you're going to start to make passive income. But whatever it is, your email list is something that you own, and it's going to be a lot more direct path that you can segment people through versus just sending people to your website to gain traffic or sending people to a YouTube video, right? That content that you're sending them to, maybe there's a pitch in the YouTube video that you send someone to from Pinterest. So that could be a way, yes, that we make a sale, but your email list is going to be the absolute best way for you to monetize Pinterest traffic. So if you have not started your email list, or maybe you have, but you feel like you really need to improve some things, definitely check out this video here where I talk about how to create an amazing freebie and opt-in, and then how to start growing your email list. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you were able to see a lot of good examples. I love Pinterest. I think it's such a great addition once you're already creating all this content. And if you're at the point in business where after watching this video, you're feeling like maybe you're not quite ready for Pinterest, maybe you need to ramp up some of your content creation first, but you obviously clicked on this video because you want to expand your reach and visibility, check out this video here where I talk about using Instagram Reels, which is potentially another strategy that you can use within your business in order to really expand your reach and visibility. And lastly, because I always want to leave you guys with everything that you need to be set up for success, if you are ready to dive into Pinterest and you're kind of trying to figure out how to organize all this content and create some content workflows so that you can streamline this process and go from YouTube video to pins and all of these other pieces of repurposed content, definitely check out the link below where you can see some of my ClickUp templates, where I have a ClickUp template bundle of all of the different types of content platforms that you're going to need to be able to organize and systematize inside of ClickUp. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help us be able to create more content for you guys, and check out some of these other videos here about all things building an online business, marketing, sales, and the digital nomad lifestyle.